Okay, so today I thought I'd do a quick little video for all those people who are at home with younger children who've been in the process of learning phonics to help with their reading and writing, and who unfortunately can't continue with that now because the schools have been closed. So I've had a few people asking me about different ways that they can help teach phonics to their children. So I thought a little video or a little video series might be a bit more informative than me just giving out individual advice. So I'm going to call this one Continuing Phonics Lessons Without a Teacher. Okay, so when it comes to phonics, a lot of people get put off or get confused by some of the big words that get thrown around. Things like phoneme, grapheme, digraph, split digraph, and trigraph, as well as some others, but don't worry too much about these today. They'll be covered in a later video. So when it comes to phonics, the most important thing is getting the letter sounds right, not knowing all the big fancy words. So getting the letter sounds right is important for two main reasons. The first one is blending, which is putting the sounds together to sound out a word. And the second is segmenting, which is splitting the letter sounds up when you're writing them or spelling them. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I've chosen to do a video about it, and like I said, people have been asking me how they can help or how they continue teaching phonics at home. But then there's three main reasons that I really wanted to do this. And that's one, to keep the children learning phonics at home. Two, to minimise confusion for you and your children when you're teaching them phonics or when you're trying to sound out words and things like that. And three, because learning to read and write is something that all children should have access to, whether they're in school or whether they're at home. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to go back to a couple of those words that were on the screen at the beginning. And these are the two that we're going to focus on primarily for now because they're the two that are the most important. And they are grapheme and phoneme. So a grapheme, put simply, is a letter or a set of letters that represent a sound in a word, such as the A in the word cat, and what we know as the A sound or letter. And then a phoneme is the unique sound a letter or group of letters makes. There are actually 44 unique sounds in the English language, which can be confusing because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, but again, we'll come to that in a later video, you don't need to worry about that too much now. Okay, so after that, following on from graphemes and phonemes, the phonemes or the letter sounds can be split down into two categories, which are consonant sounds and vowel sounds. And to keep it simple for today, we're going to be focusing on single grapheme or single letter sounds. And we're also going to focus just on consonant sounds for today. And that's because there's 17 of these single grapheme consonant sounds, and I didn't want to overload you with too much information to start with. Okay, so in the next couple of slides, I'm going to show you a grapheme, or what a letter looks like, and the sound that goes with it. And this is important because how we might say some sounds normally aren't going to be how you'd say them when you're teaching phonics to your children. So the first one is a great example of that, because our first grapheme is B, and a lot of people tend to say B or things like that when it's actually B. It's a lot shorter, sharper sound, and you can see that in words like bug and words like bat. Okay, so our next one is going to be D. That's the grapheme, and the phoneme is D. And we can see that in words such as dig and words such as dog. Okay, up next we've got another one that some people tend to say wrong, myself included. So up next we've got F. So it's not F like a lot of us say, it's actually F. And we can see that in words like fit and words like fan. Okay, up next we've got G, which is a lot shorter and a lot sharper than people saying G. It's G, G. It's really at the back of your throat, G. And we can see that in words like gum and words like gun. Okay, up next we have h, and again, it's a really soft sound compared to h, like we'd normally say. So when you're teaching phonics, it's h. And you can see that on words like hop and words like ham. So that really soft h sound. Okay. Up next we have j, and we can see that in words like jam and words like jump. And then we have k. So as you might be able to tell, or you might already know, there's two graphemes for this. So there's what we know as a curly k and what we know as a kicking k. But they both make the same phone. They both make the same sound, and we can see it in cat, and we can see it in kit. Okay. Up next we have l, and again it's one that we tend to get mixed up with. So it's not l, it's a l sound, which we can see in log, and we can see in lip. Okay. Next we have m. So it's not m, it's more of that dragged out sound. And we can see that in words like man and words like mum. Okay. And then again, for this sound, it's the same principle. So it's an n, not a n, which a lot of people tend to say, but it can be confusing when children are trying to learn to read and write. So it's an n sound, like we can see in net, and we can also see in nan. Okay, it's only a few more, I promise. So up next is p, and we can see this in words such as pen and words such as pug. And next we have another one of those kind of softer rolling sounds, and we have the r. So a lot of people will tend to say r, but it is more of a rolled r sound with a r. And we can see that in words like run and words like rat. Okay. Next we have s. So s is a lot softer than what we'd normally say, which is s. But we can see it in words like sit and words like swim, where it's more of that dragged out s sound. Okay, up next we have t. This one's fairly straightforward. We can see it in words like tin and words like top. Next we have v. So v can be seen in words like van and words like vine. And up after that we have ooh. So again, this is one where a lot of people will tend to say w, but that can be confusing because when you look at words like wing and words like wet, it's more of that soft, dragged out ooh sound. Okay, and then our final sound for today in our consonant sounds is z. So this one is another one where people tend to say the wrong sound. So people say things like z or z or z. It's actually a z sound. And we can see that in words like zap and words like zigzag. Okay, so as I said, that's the last of our sounds for today. And there's just a quick recap I want to go over of the 4 points that are the most important things to focus on. Okay, so when you're teaching phonics to younger children, don't worry about the big words. They're not going to know what they mean yet. It's more of a later key stage thing. And you don't need to worry about teaching them the big words as long as you're getting the sounds right, which leads on to number 2. The most important thing is getting the sounds right. If you're not getting the sounds right, it makes it really difficult to blend words and it makes it really difficult to segment because they're not hearing those sounds the way that they're actually pronounced when they're put together. Okay, number 3, a phoneme. So it's the unique sound a letter or a group of letters makes. And a grapheme is the letter or letters that represent a sound in a word. But again, don't worry too much about that. That'll all come with time. Okay, and if anybody would like a little bit more help, a little bit more information, or just access to some free resources, if you go to new.phonicsplay.co.uk, they're a really good website. They've got some great resources for teaching phonics, and they've opened up their website to everybody. So if you put in the username and the password that are on the screen right now, then you'll have access to loads and loads of resources that are going to help massively with teaching your children how to read and write properly while they're not in school. Okay, so other than that, thanks for watching. And if you'd like any more information, or there's something specific you'd like me to do a video on, then just let me know.